The champagne tasted bitter in Olivia Morgan's mouth as she navigated through the crowded art gallery. 6 months after her divorce from Nathan, she had finally started to feel like herself again, until tonight. She smoothed down her navy blue dress, a purchase that had symbolized her fresh start, and tried to focus on the abstract paintings that adorned the walls. "Stunning work, isn't it?" A familiar voice said behind her. Olivia turned to find Diane, once a close friend from her married days. Their relationship had cooled mysteriously after the divorce, with canceled lunch dates and unanswered texts becoming the norm. "It's powerful," Olivia agreed, studying the chaotic swirl of colors that somehow formed a cohesive whole. "I haven't seen you in ages. How have you been?" Diane shifted uncomfortably, her eyes darting around the room. "I've been well. Busy with work, you know how it is." She paused, then lowered her voice. "I didn't expect to see you here. I thought it might be ... awkward." Awkward? Why would... Olivia's question died on her lips as she spotted Nathan across the room, his arm wrapped possessively around a slender brunette who laughed at something he whispered in her ear. His new girlfriend. The reason for Diane's discomfort suddenly became clear. "It's fine," Olivia said, forcing a smile. "We're adults. The gallery isn't that big, but I'm sure we can manage to enjoy the art without drama." Diane's expression soft with something that looked uncomfortably like pity. "You're being very mature about this, especially considering ... everything." "Everything, you know?" Diane hesitated, then shook her head. "It doesn't matter. Ancient history, right?" Before Olivia could press further, Diane made an excuse about finding her husband and disappeared into the crowd, leaving Olivia with her half-empty champagne flute and a growing sense of unease. She made her way to a quieter corner of the gallery, pretending to admire a sculpture while processing the strange interaction. Something was off. Diane's behavior suggested more than just the awkwardness of running into an ex-friend at an event. "Olivia?" A gentle touch on her arm startled her. Rebecca, another from their old social circle, stood beside her with a tentative smile. "I thought that was you. You look wonderful." "Thanks, Rebecca." "It's been a while." Rebecca glanced around before leaning closer. "Listen, I've wanted to reach out for months, but I wasn't sure if you'd want to hear from me. After everything Nathan said about ... What did Nathan say?" Olivia asked, her voice sharper than intended. Rebecca blinked in surprise. "About the affair, and how you..." She trailed off at the expression on Olivia's face. "Oh God, I've misunderstood something, haven't I?" The room seemed to tilt as Rebecca's words sank in. "Affair? What affair?" "The one Nathan said ended your marriage? With your coworker? He told everyone you'd been seeing someone from your office for months before he found out." Rebecca's face paled. "That's not what happened, is it?" Olivia gripped the edge of a nearby pedestal, steadying herself as anger and shock coursed through her body. "No," she managed to say through clenched teeth. "That is absolutely not what happened." The truth was so far removed from Nathan's fiction that she almost wanted to laugh. Their marriage had ended because of his gambling addiction. Tens of thousands of dollars lost, loans taken out in both their names, lies piled upon lies until their financial future was in ruins. She had tried to help him, begged him to get counseling, but in the end, she'd had to save herself from his spiral of destruction. And now he was telling everyone that she had cheated? "I need to get some air," Olivia said, handing her empty glass to a passing waiter and heading for the exit. Outside, the cool evening air did little to calm the storm inside her. She leaned against the building's stone facade, taking deep breaths as her mind raced. How many people believed Nathan's lies? How far had his fabricated version of their divorce spread? "You okay?" A woman's voice interrupted her thoughts. The Brunette Nathan's new girlfriend stood a few feet away, a cigarette in her hand. Up close, she was younger than Olivia had initially thought, perhaps mid-20s. "I'm fine," Olivia replied automatically. "You don't look fine." The woman offered a sympathetic smile. "I'm Vanessa, by the way." Olivia. Recognition flashed in Vanessa's eyes. "Oh, you're... Wow, Nathan's ex-wife." "That would be me," Olivia said, wondering if she should just walk away. Vanessa took a long drag of her cigarette. "He told me about you, said it was a messy split. Did he mention why?" Olivia couldn't help asking. "He said you had fidelity issues." Vanessa looked uncomfortable. "Look, I don't want to get in the middle of anything. Nathan said the past is the past." A hollow laugh escaped Olivia's lips. "Fidelity issues. That's an interesting way to phrase it. What do you mean?" But before Olivia could respond, the gallery door opened and Nathan stepped out. He froze when he saw them together, his handsome face hardening into a mask of controlled anger. "Vanessa, there you are," he said, deliberately ignoring Olivia. "They're about to announce the featured artist. We should head back inside." "I was just having a quick smoke and meeting your ex," Vanessa replied, seemingly oblivious to the tension crackling between them. Nathan's smile didn't reach his eyes. "How nice. But we really should get back inside." He took Vanessa's arm, possessive dot, as they turned to go. Olivia found her voice. "Nathan." He paused, finally looking at her directly. In his eyes, she saw a warning and something else. Fear. "It was interesting meeting your new girlfriend," Olivia said carefully. "She seems nice. I hope you're being more honest with her than you are with everyone else about why our marriage ended." Nathan's jaw tightened. "Don't start, Olivia." "Number. One wants to hear your version of events." "My version? You mean the truth?" She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "How much of our savings did you gamble away again? Remind me." Vanessa looked between them, confusion evident on her face. "What is she talking about, Nathan?" "Nothing. She's just bitter." He pulled Vanessa toward the door. "Let's go." As they disappeared inside, Olivia remained in the cool night air, her mind whirling with revelations and possibilities. Nathan had been systematically destroying her reputation, painting himself as the victim while villainizing her. For 6 months, she'd focused on healing and moving forward. She'd been the bigger person, keeping his secrets and protecting his dignity even as he destroyed their life together. But now she knew better. If Nathan wanted to play with fire, she would be happy to show him just how badly he could get burned. That night, as Olivia drove home, her hands steady on the wheel, despite her inner turmoil, she made a decision. She would gather every scrap of evidence she could find: bank statements, credit card bills, emails, text messages, everything that proved the real reason their marriage had ended. Nathan had forgotten one crucial thing about her before she was his wife, before she was his victim. Olivia Morgan had been a paralegal for 7 years. She knew how to build a case, how to gather evidence, and most importantly, how to present the truth in a way that no one could deny. The game had changed. She wasn't just going to clear her name, she was going to make sure Nathan could never hurt another woman the way he'd hurt her. Olivia's apartment looked like a war room by Sunday afternoon. Documents covered every surface: bank statements, credit card bills, and loan applications spread across her dining table in neat, chronological piles. Her laptop displayed a spreadsheet, tracking Nathan's gambling losses, a staggering sum that still made her stomach clench. "This is even worse than I remembered," she murmured, adding another figure to the growing total. 3 days had passed since the gallery encounter, and Olivia had barely slept. Instead, she'd excavated boxes from storage, retrieving financial records she'd packed away in her haste to move on. The paper trail told a devastating story. Nearly $87,000 lost to online poker and sports betting in their final year of marriage alone. Her phone buzzed with a text from her colleague, Josephine. Still, on for coffee tomorrow? Need your input on the Westfield campaign. Olivia stared at the message, an idea forming. Josephine worked in accounting at Carlton Marketing, where Olivia had been a project manager for 4 years. If anyone could help her understand the financial aspects of what she was uncovering, it would be Josephine. Absolutely. Could we make it early? I have something personal to discuss too. While waiting for a response, Olivia opened another folder emails she'd recovered from their shared cloud storage that Nathan had forgotten to disconnect. Most were mundane, but one thread caught her attention. Correspondence between Nathan and someone named Marcus at Vertex Solutions. Vertex Solutions. The name was familiar. They were a client of Carlton Marketing One. Nathan had mentioned networking with during their marriage. As she skimmed the emails, her breath caught. Nathan had approached Marcus about consulting opportunities shortly, after Olivia mentioned that Carlton was planning a major campaign for Vertex. No, she whispered, scrolling faster through the emails. HEWOULDN single quotes T. But the evidence was there. Nathan had leveraged information Olivia had casually shared about her work to position himself as a consultant for Vertex, billing them for services while collecting insider information about marketing strategies, information that would have come directly from Carlton's confidential plans. This wasn't just about gambling anymore. This was corporate espionage. Her doorbell rang, startling her from the revelation. Through the peephole, she saw Diane shifting nervously in the hallway. Olivia opened the door. This is unexpected. I know. Diane clutched her purse like a shield. Can I come in? I owe you an explanation. Olivia hesitated, then stepped aside. I think you do. As Diane entered, her eyes widened at the paper-strewn apartment. What is all this? Evidence, Olivia said simply. Coffee? In the kitchen, Olivia busied herself with the coffee maker, while Diane perched on a bar stool, looking uncomfortable. After seeing you at the gallery, I couldn't stop thinking about our conversation, Diane began. The way you reacted when I mentioned everything. You genuinely didn't know what I was talking about, did you? Olivia placed a steaming mug in front of her. Nathan told everyone I cheated on him. Diane nodded slowly. Not just that. He said you'd become unstable, emotionally, abusive, that you'd maxed out credit cards behind his back, and he was trying to protect you by not telling everyone how bad it had gotten. She met Olivia's gaze. I'm ashamed to admit I believed him. We all did. He flipped the script entirely, Olivia sighed, unsurprised, yet still stung by the extent of Nathan's lies. Did it ever occur to you to ask for my side? I tried calling once, but you didn't answer. Then Nathan told us your therapist had suggested a clean break from your old social circle. Diane looked down. I'm sorry, Olivia. I should have tried harder. The irony wasn't lost on Olivia. Nathan had isolated her so completely that even her attempts to rebuild had been sabotaged. I need your help, Diane, Olivia said. I need to know everything Nathan has been saying, and to whom. By the time Diane left 2 hours later, Olivia had a comprehensive understanding of Nathan's smear campaign. He'd portrayed himself as the long-suffering husband of an unfaithful, unstable woman. Worse, he'd suggested to their friends that Olivia's issues had affected her work performance, leaving her position at Carlton precarious. The realization that her professional reputation might also be at stake galvanized Olivia. This wasn't just personal anymore. It was about her livelihood. The next morning, Olivia arrived at the coffee shop 30 minutes before her meeting with Josephine. As she reviewed her notes, a familiar voice caught her attention. Just a black Coffee. Thanks. Olivia looked up to see Vanessa at the counter. Making a split-second decision, she approached the younger woman. Vanessa? Hi, it's Olivia from the gallery. Vanessa turned, surprise evident on her face. Oh, hi. I wanted to apologize for the other night. That must have been awkward for you. Little, Vanessa admitted. Nathan was upset afterward. I'm not surprised. Olivia hesitated. Look, I know this is forward, but would you like to join me? Just for a few minutes? Vanessa glanced at her watch. I have a little time before work. At the table, an uncomfortable silence settled until Olivia spoke. How long have you and Nathan been together? About 4 months. We met at a charity auction. And he told you I cheated on him. Vanessa shifted uncomfortably. He said there were ... indiscretions. That you'd changed during the marriage. Did he mention his gambling? What gambling? Olivia took a calculated risk. Nathan lost nearly $90,000 gambling during our marriage. That's why we divorced, not because of any affair. Vanessa's skepticism was clear. That's a serious accusation. It's not an accusation. It's a fact. One I can prove. Olivia pulled out a folder containing credit card statements. These are just from our last 3 months together. Vanessa reluctantly glanced at the statements, her expression changing as she noted the multiple charges from online betting sites. This doesn't mean. Ask him about Riverside Casino. Olivia interrupted gently. Watch his reaction. I'm not trying to interfere with your relationship, Vanessa. But you deserve to know who you're really with. Before Vanessa could respond, Olivia spotted Josephine entering the cafe. I have to go. Just ... be careful. Throughout her meeting with Josephine, Olivia struggled to focus on the Westfield campaign, her mind racing with possibilities. They finally moved to the personal matter. Olivia chose her words carefully. I've discovered something concerning about a former connection who may have accessed confidential Carlton information. I need to understand if this could constitute corporate espionage. Josephine's expression grew serious. That's a major allegation. What evidence do you have? Emails, financial records. Nothing conclusive yet, but enough to warrant deeper investigation. You should speak with Daniel in IT security, Josephine suggested. If someone's compromised our clients, the company needs to know. By the time Olivia left the cafe, she had a meeting scheduled with Daniel for the following day and a growing sense of purpose. The web of Nathan's deception was more complex than she'd initially thought, extending beyond their personal lives into her professional world. As she walked to her car, her phone chimed with a text from an unknown number. This is Vanessa. We need to talk, not about what you think. There's something else you should know about nothing. The university library was Olivia's suggestion-neutral ground, public enough for safety, but private enough for conversation. She spotted Vanessa at a corner table, nervously shredding a napkin. Thank you for meeting me, Olivia said, sliding. Into the chair opposite. Vanessa glanced around before speaking. I asked Nathan about Riverside Casino. And? He denied everything at first, then got angry. Said you were trying to sabotage us because you couldn't move on. Vanessa's fingers trembled slightly. But then I found something in his apartment. That made me question everything. She pulled out her phone, scrolling to a photo of a bank statement. This was in his desk drawer. I wasn't snooping. I needed a pen and opened the wrong drawer. Olivia studied the image. Transfers from a company called Helix Investments to Nathan's personal account large. Irregular sums spanning the past year. Do you know what Helix Investments is? Olivia asked. No, but I searched online. There's nothing, no website, no business registration I could find. Vanessa lowered her voice. There's more. I overheard him on the phone yesterday discussing a new acquisition, that would eclipse anything. Vertex has developed. The mention of Vertex sent a chill through Olivia. Did he mention any names? Just Marcus. They're meeting tomorrow night. At the Astoria. The pieces were fitting together. Nathan's consulting with Vertex. Mysterious payments from an untraceable company. And now talk of acquisitions. This went beyond corporate espionage. It had the hallmarks of something potentially illegal. Vanessa, why are you telling me this? Because I'm scared, she admitted. After you showed me those statements, I started noticing things. Large cash. Withdrawals, late-night calls he takes in another room. When I ask questions, he gets defensive. She hesitated. And there's something else. Last week, he asked if I would put my name on some paperwork for a business opportunity. Said it was. Too complicated to explain, but would set us up financially. Olivia felt a surge of protectiveness toward this woman she barely knew. Don't sign anything. Whatever he's involved in, you don't want your name attached to it. What should I do? Help me find out what he's planning, Olivia said. But be careful. If he suspects you're questioning him, create distance. Your safety comes first. After their meeting, Olivia drove directly to Carlton Marketing. Her appointment with Daniel from IT Security wasn't until tomorrow. But this couldn't wait. Daniel turned out to be younger than Olivia expected, with intense eyes behind stylish glasses and an air of contained energy. Ms. Morgan? Daniel Evans. Your message sounded urgent. In his office, Olivia laid out what she knew Nathan's connection to Vertex, the mysterious Helix investments, and the upcoming meeting at the Astoria. Daniel listened without interruption, occasionally typing notes. If what you're describing is accurate, this could be industrial espionage at minimum, possibly wire fraud, depending on how money is changing hands. He studied her. Why bring this to me instead of law enforcement? Because I need to be certain before I take that step, and because Carlton's proprietary information may be compromised. Daniel nodded slowly. The Astoria, tomorrow night. I could be there, observe the meeting. We, Olivia corrected. I need to hear what Nathan says firsthand. That's risky. If he recognizes you, he won't expect me there. And I know how to. Remain inconspicuous. Daniel considered her for a long moment. This isn't standard protocol. Nothing about this situation is standard. Finally, he nodded. Tomorrow night, then. But we document everything, and if there's evidence of criminal activity, we take it to the authorities immediately. Agreed. The following evening found Olivia and Daniel at the Astoria, seated at a corner table with a clear view of the bar where Nathan was scheduled to meet Marcus. Olivia wore a blonde wig and glasses, simple but effective camouflage. Nervous? Daniel asked, noticing her tapping fingers. Focused, she corrected, though her heartbeat betrayed her tension. When Nathan arrived at precisely 8 o'clock, Olivia tensed. Seeing him in this context, poised for a clandestine business meeting, rather than spinning lies about their marriage, heightened her sense of purpose. Marcus joined him minutes later, a heavy-set man with an expensive watch and wary eyes. They ordered drinks and spoke in low voices. We need to get closer, Daniel whispered. Follow my lead, Olivia murmured, standing and walking toward the restrooms, a path that would take her past their table. As she passed, she caught fragments of their conversation. Transfer the remaining assets before the acquisition. Needs to be clean. No connection to Vertex. Helix provides perfect cover for. Back at their table, Olivia and Daniel compared notes. The pieces were falling into place. Nathan and Marcus were using Helix investments to funnel Vertex's proprietary information to a competitor before an acquisition deal was announced. This is securities fraud, Daniel said quietly. They're trading on inside information and using my company's client as the vehicle, Olivia added. They remained for another hour, documenting what they observed. When Nathan and Marcus eventually left, Daniel turned to Olivia with newfound respect. You realize what you've done, right? You've potentially uncovered a major financial crime. I was just trying to clear my name, Olivia said, removing her. Wig, I never expected ... this. What's your next step? The question hung between them. Olivia had started this journey seeking personal vindication, but the stakes had grown exponentially. I need to protect Vanessa, she said finally. She doesn't realize how dangerous this situation is. Daniel studied her thoughtfully. You're worried about the woman dating your ex-husband? The man who destroyed your reputation? She's innocent in all this. And Nathan is clearly involving her in something illegal. As they left the restaurant, Daniel hesitated beside her car. I'll compile everything we have and contact the appropriate authorities. But Olivia, be careful. Men like Nathan, when cornered, can be unpredictable. His concerns seemed to extend beyond professional courtesy. In the dim parking lot light, Olivia noticed details she'd overlooked earlier, the warmth in his eyes, the slight nervousness in his smile. Thank you for believing me, she said. Not many people would have. I recognize integrity when I see it. He handed her his card. Call me any time, for the case or otherwise. The unexpected connection momentarily distracted Olivia from the gravity of what they'd discovered. As she drove home, her phone buzzed with a text from Vanessa. Nathan just asked me to attend the Ashford Foundation Gala next weekend. Says he has a special announcement planned. I'm scared, Olivia. What if he knows what we're doing? The Ashford Foundation Gala was exactly 1 week away. 7 days to gather conclusive evidence, ensure Vanessa's safety, and decide how to proceed with the authorities. Olivia's apartment had transformed from a paper war room to a digital command center, with Daniel spending his evenings helping her build their case. The SEC will want documented proof of every transaction, Daniel explained, organizing files on her laptop. We've got the paper trail connecting Nathan to Helix, and Helix to the competitor acquiring Vertex, but we need the smoking gun explicit acknowledgement that he's trading on inside information. Olivia nodded, aware of his proximity as he leaned across her to access another folder. Their impromptu partnership had evolved rapidly, professional respect blossoming into something more complex. Daniel's intelligence and ethical conviction drew her in, awakening feelings she'd thought dormant. After Nathan's betrayal, I might have something, she said, opening an email thread recovered from the cloud storage. Nathan discussing leveraging connections at Carlton to facilitate the Vertex transition. Daniel read the exchange, his expression brightening. This is exactly what we need. He's explicitly referencing using Carlton's information. Their eyes met, triumph sparking between them. For a breathless moment, the investigation faded to background noise, replaced by awareness of how close they sat, how easily she could lean forward, and her phone rang, shattering the moment. Vanessa's name flashed on the screen. I need to take this, Olivia said, stepping away. Vanessa, are you all right? Nathan's acting strange, Vanessa whispered. He keeps asking about my conversation with you at the library. Says someone mentioned seeing us together. Olivia's stomach tightened. What did you tell him? That we ran into each other accidentally. But I don't think he believes me. He's been checking my phone when I'm in the shower, asking who I'm texting. Listen carefully, Olivia said, meeting Daniel's concerned gaze. Don't confront him. Act normal. The gala is in 7 days. We'll have everything we need by then. What if he proposes at the gala? I can't say yes, knowing what I know now. The fear in Vanessa's voice solidified Olivia's resolve. We won't let it get that far. Trust me. After hanging up, Olivia turned to Daniel. We need to move faster. Nathan's getting suspicious. Then we need to be smarter. Daniel took her hand, his touch steadying. Let me help you through this, not just as a colleague, as someone who cares. The directness of his statement caught her off guard. Daniel, You don't have to say anything, he interrupted gently. I know your life is complicated right now, but when this is over, I'd like to see where this might go. For the first time in months, Olivia allowed herself to imagine a future beyond vindication. I'd like that too. The next 5 days passed in a blur of preparation. During the day, Olivia maintained her normal work routine at Carlton, careful to avoid arousing suspicion. Evenings were spent with Daniel, building their case and growing closer in the process. On the night before the gala, they finalized their plan over takeout in Olivia's living room. The SEEK and FBI have been notified, Daniel confirmed. They'll have agents at the gala, but they need Nathan to incriminate himself clearly before making an arrest. And Vanessa? Protected? The moment Nathan says anything incriminating, they'll separate them. She won't be implicated. Olivia nodded, relieved. Despite everything, she'd grown to care for Vanessa, recognizing in her the same trusting nature that had once made Olivia vulnerable to Nathan's manipulation. There's one more thing, Daniel said, setting aside his food. Tomorrow night could get complicated. Before it does, I wanted to give you this. He handed her a small box. Inside was a delicate silver necklace with a pendant shaped like a phoenix. A phoenix? She asked, touched by the gesture. Rising from the ashes, he explained, like you're doing. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, you've already won by reclaiming your truth. Olivia felt tears threaten. Thank you for believing in me when no one else did. Thank you for being brave enough to fight back. The moment stretched between them, filled with unspoken possibility. When Daniel finally leaned forward, his kiss was gentle, a promise rather than a demand. Olivia responded without hesitation, allowing herself to feel something other than anger or determination for the first time in months. Later, as they finalized details for the gala, Olivia received a text from Diane. Just heard from Rebecca. Nathan's ordered a ring. It's happening tomorrow night. The confirmation sent a jolt through her. Nathan's definitely proposing at the gala. Daniel squeezed her hand. Then we'll be ready. The night of the Ashford Foundation Gala arrived with perfect dramatic timing, a storm brewing both literally and figuratively. Rain lashed against the windows of the limousine Daniel had arranged, providing cover for the wire Olivia wore beneath her emerald gown. Testing 1, 2, said the FBI technician seated opposite them. Perfect. We're receiving clearly. Agent Hayes, the lead investigator, reviewed the protocol once more. Ms. Morgan, your only job is to get close enough to record Nathan's conversations, particularly with Marcus. Under no circumstances should you confront him directly. Understood, Olivia said, though part of her still craved the satisfaction of personal confrontation. As they approached the venue, Daniel adjusted his bow tie nervously. Ready? Olivia touched the phoenix pendant at her throat. Ready. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers and wealthy patrons, Nathan and Vanessa, already holding court near the bar. Vanessa's eyes widened momentarily upon seeing Olivia, but she quickly composed herself, touching Nathan's arm as if nothing were amiss. 12 o'clock, Daniel murmured. Marcus just arrived. Sure enough, Marcus was making his way toward Nathan, a champagne flute in hand and a predatory smile on his face. Olivia and Daniel circulated casually, maintaining distance while staying within recording range. Tonight's the night, they overheard Marcus say. Transfer complete? Nathan nodded. Final payment cleared this morning. Helix is officially dissolved. And our Carlton insider? Clueless. Once the Vertex acquisition is announced Monday, the stock will triple. We'll be untouchable. Agent Hayes's voice came through Olivia's discreet earpiece. We need more. Get him to explicitly acknowledge the insider trading. Olivia caught Vanessa's eye across the room and gave an imperceptible nod. As planned, Vanessa excused herself, creating an opportunity for Olivia to approach Nathan alone. Quite an event, Olivia said, sliding next to him at the bar. "Hello, Nathan." He froze, champagne glass halfway to his lips. "Olivia, what are you doing here?" "Supporting the Ashford Foundation, same as you." She signaled the bartender. "Scotch, neat." "Nathan's." Surprise gave way to suspicion. "If you're here to cause a scene, actually I wanted to congratulate you on your ... business success." She emphasized the word slightly. "Helix Investments is doing well, I hear?" His face paled. "I don't know what you're talking about." "No? That's odd, because Marcus mentioned it just now." "Something about a transfer being complete?" Nathan's composure slipped. "You're recording this, aren't you? Should I be?" His voice dropped to a threatening whisper. "You have no idea what you're meddling with. I've built something bigger than anything we had, and I won't let you ruin it with your pathetic revenge fantasy. This isn't about revenge, Nathan. It's about justice for me, for Vanessa, for everyone you've manipulated." "Vanessa?" Realization dawned in his eyes. "You've been talking to her, turning her against me. She made her own decisions once she knew the truth." Nathan's grip tightened on his glass. "The truth? You want truth? Here's truth. Everything I've done, the gambling, the lies, Helix, it was all building toward tonight. I'm about to become wealthy beyond imagination because I was smart enough to see opportunities you never could. By stealing proprietary information from my company? By using Vertex as a pawn in your insider trading scheme? Call it what you want," he hissed. "By Monday, I'll have made millions on the Vertex acquisition, using information you're precious. Carlton marketing team was too stupid to protect. And there's nothing you can do about it." Olivia smiled calmly. "Actually, there is." On cue, Agent Hayes approached, badge displayed. "Nathan Reynolds? FBI. You're under arrest for securities fraud and wire fraud." As agents surrounded Nathan and Marcus, the ballroom erupted in confused murmurs. Vanessa stood frozen, watching. As Nathan was handcuffed and led away, his final glare at Olivia filled with impotent rage. Daniel appeared at Olivia's side, his hand finding hers. "It's over." But it wasn't quite over. There was still one final act of reclamation to perform. 3 weeks after the Ashford Foundation Gala, Olivia sat across from Rebecca and Diane at their favorite brunch spot, the same table where, months earlier, they had distanced themselves based on Nathan's lies. The sect is still unraveling the full extent of his scheme, Olivia explained, stirring her coffee. But they've confirmed he was using information I inadvertently shared about Carlton's clients to facilitate insider trading. "And he'll go to prison?" Rebecca asked. "Almost certainly. The evidence is overwhelming." Diane shook her head in disbelief. "All this time we thought, I can't believe we fell for his lies about you." "He was convincing," Olivia acknowledged without bitterness. "That's what manipulators do. They create narratives that seem plausible, especially when you only hear one side." The conversation shifted to Vanessa, who had narrowly avoided legal complications herself. "She's been cooperating with the investigation," Olivia said. "We've actually become friends, in an unexpected way." "And what about that handsome IT security guy?" Rebecca teased, lightening the mood. "Daniel, right? The one who hasn't stopped texting you since we sat down?" Olivia felt a blush warm her cheeks. "We're exploring possibilities." The truth was, Daniel had become a steady presence in her life, patient and understanding as she processed the aftermath of Nathan's arrest. Their connection, forged in the crucible of crisis, had deepened into something meaningful. Later that afternoon, Olivia met with her company's executive team, including the CEO, Jennifer Wallace. The conference room fell silent as Olivia entered. "Ms. Morgan," Jennifer began, "I want to personally thank you for your extraordinary actions. Your diligence protected not only Carlton Marketing, but our client Vertex Solutions from significant harm." "I was just doing what was right," Olivia said. "Nevertheless, your integrity deserves recognition. We'd like to offer you a promotion to Senior Director of Client Relations, effective immediately." The validation professional and personal felt like the final piece falling into place. Olivia had not only cleared her name, but emerged stronger than before. That evening, she met Daniel at the river walk, the setting sun painting the sky in dramatic oranges and purples. "I got the promotion," she told him as they strolled along the water. "Of course you did," he replied, his smile warm with pride. "They'd be fools not to recognize what you're capable of." They paused at a bench overlooking the water, the same spot where Olivia had once sat alone after signing her divorce papers, wondering if she would ever feel whole again. "I've been thinking about everything that's happened," she said. "How something that felt like an ending became a beginning instead." Daniel took her hand. "Some people never find the courage to confront their past. You not only confronted yours, you transformed it." "We transformed it," she corrected. "I couldn't have done this alone." "You weren't alone then, and you aren't now." He hesitated. "I know it might seem fast, but I've never been more certain about anyone." The intensity in his eyes made her breath catch. "What are you saying?" "That I'm falling in love with you, Olivia Morgan. And I'm not afraid to say it." 6 months ago, such a declaration would have terrified her. Now, it felt like the most natural thing in the world. "I'm falling in love with you too," she admitted. "And that scares me less than I thought it would." As he pulled her close, Olivia reflected on the journey that had brought her here. Nathan had tried to destroy her reputation, her career, and her belief in herself. Instead, his actions had led her to discover her own strength, expose a major financial crime, and open her heart to new possibilities. The final piece of closure came the following week, when Olivia received a letter from Nathan's attorney. Inside was a formal, notarized retraction of every lie he had spread about their marriage, along with an acknowledgement of his gambling addiction and financial deceit. The court-mandated document would be sent to everyone in their former social circle in Mao. Public restoration of her reputation. But Olivia realized, reading it, that she no longer needed external validation. She knew her truth, and that was enough. That night, at dinner with Daniel, Vanessa, and a few close friends, Olivia raised her glass in a toast. "To unexpected journeys," she said, "and to the truth that sets us free." As conversations flowed around her, Olivia felt a profound sense of peace. The web of deceit that had entangled her life had been untangled thread by thread, revealing not just the truth about her past, but a path toward her future. When Daniel squeezed her hand beneath the table, she squeezed back, grateful for the unexpected twist of fate that had brought them together. Nathan's lies had been meant to destroy her, but instead, they had led her to rebuild something stronger, more authentic, and infinitely more valuable. A life entirely her own.